Welcome back, my subscribers. In this video, I want to talk about the Sigma 18-50. This is a super compact APS-C lens that gives you a 28-75 at an f4 equivalent on full frame. Now, I've had this lens 3 times. I know, insane. That's what happens when you're a crazy photographer and then you start making videos on YouTube. You just end up buying stuff, selling stuff, buying stuff. It's nonsense. Waste of money. It's hard after using so many lenses to not judge a lens very quickly nowadays in terms of whether I'm going to use it or not. But I wanted to go back to the Sigma 18-50 because this is a very interesting lens that keeps bringing me back, and it's for a couple of reasons. So I first tried it on the Sony A6700. I used that. I was shooting video with it. I don't know. I think I was getting a lot of noise as I was trying to go in from outdoor to indoor using ND filters. I just couldn't find a sweet spot where this lens could help me out in getting great footage, clean footage. It might have just been user error. So I ended up getting rid of both the lens and the camera. Later, a year later, tried the same camera again. And of course, I got the lens again because it just made sense. It's small, the camera's small, it just felt right. And I think, again, I focused on video, I was unhappy, and I think that's where my mistake was happening. I was over-focusing on how it was performing as a video lens versus, as a whole, what this lens could offer, which is also photography. So now that I've been using the Leica CL and looking for lens options that are compact, provide excellent image quality, and give you the versatility, using this camera as a everyday camera for documenting family, casual shooting, that kind of thing, the options are very limited. First of all, an L-mount, as you know, especially APS-C because it was discontinued. So this 18-50 was a no-brainer, and you could find some good deals buying it pre-owned. So I bought it, third time, as I said. Of course, not shooting video at all because the CL, I haven't even touched the video option or capability it may have or not have. I wanted it more for family and documentary photos. And I've been shooting a lot of black and white, so it just was nice. It's been a nice pairing of that super compact camera, and I can show it to you right now. With this zoom lens, it's giving me so much flexibility going from the, the go-to documentary 28 to being able to close up and isolate my subject at 50, which is a 75. And still being in a reasonable size package. So you'll see here, the camera itself is very slim, which I really, really like. I feel like this is what I've been wanting from like the X100 V series. It just feels good. Like this body is nice and solid, doesn't feel cheap. You got the metal top, metal bottom. I think the whole thing is metal. I mean, it has Leica written all over it with how the Q2, for example, is made. You got the buttons that match it. It matches the M cameras. It's just very familiar. So it's a nice, you take it out of the box and you're like, wow, this looks very well made. So now take a look at it with this lens. Now, it's not the smallest lens, especially because of the camera size. I have lenses that fit this camera that are probably half the size, but 18-75 at 2.8, which is an f4 equivalent of full frame, is not bad at all for being able to get family documentary shots. Here it is at 50. Here it is at 18. It's just been a joy to use. I'm getting amazing images. Again, this is a lens that I'm picking up not to isolate, not to remove a background. It's more to capture context. So if you know you're doing that, it's very hard to not get this lens for any other system, whatever you're using, if you're using APS-C. If you're not, just as easily could put this on a full frame that shoots 4K 60p in crop mode to be able to get amazing versatility and such a compact lens. Like, I'm considering thinking about A7C2 in 60p to compensate for that crop. Just to have a small lens to be able to do video is really cool. You can use this for all kinds of cameras. The Z, I believe there's a Z version. I actually don't remember. There's a Nikon version, but it just feels made for the camera. It feels great. So I hope you enjoyed the samples that you're seeing on the screen. Ever since I've been on this journey of finding a compact camera like this one, paired with that has been practicing more intentionality with photography. So when I use this lens, many times I'm using it at 18, like I'm starting at 28mm equivalent, and I zoom in from there. Or if I'm trying to be more intentional about how much I want to fit in an image before I even take it, I'm trying to be more intentional, like I said. So I'll go to the zoom range and say, okay, I'm going to take a 35mm equivalent or a 50mm equivalent shot. So I'll basically zoom to that and try to stick there. And that's the look I want to go for in those shots that I'm taking. So you can do this with any zoom lens. It's just, I think the more I've been in photography world, the more I think I'm getting better results when I, consider these type of things where I'm like, I could just as easily stand in one spot, zoom in and out, and get something, but it might not be the right look or the most interesting look. Some images will definitely look better at 50 versus 28 when you want to capture everything. And if you don't predetermine or think about, based on experience and in the moment, what's going to look better or what you want to see, taking your time, a lot of times you're not going to be happy with your images. So I just feel like it's been a good practice for myself. The other thing, let's talk about autofocus. This camera is not known for having great autofocus, just like most Leica cameras have been known for not having it. Surprisingly, for being contrast detect only, I haven't had a lot of issues, actually. I'm obviously not going to capture movement, sports, and that sort of thing. There's a lot of anticipation, playing the game of anticipation with this camera. Any camera that does not have great autofocus, you kind of have to do that. So I'll usually preemptively see where is a subject going to pass through so I can pre-focus or focus and recompose, because this is not going to be your tracking buddy or your eye autofocus friend. So a lot of times it's very fast, I will say that. So if I have it on spot focus, you spot focus, you hold it, it's pretty fast. It's more of like if that subject moves. But like I said, because it is a 2.8 f4 equivalent in bokeh, or depth of field for full frame, there's a bit of forgiveness when you're using APS-C lenses like this. So even if someone moved a little bit, in the time that it takes you to recompose, you probably still got the shot. So I'm really enjoying that aspect of it, being quick to take some quick shots, street photography, all that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this lens, and I guess it took me 3 times to find out that it's a great one, and that I enjoy it. So I think it just happened to be the perfect match for this camera that I've been really excited to use lately. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be talking about other lens pairings that I've been using that could be used in other systems, but just in general, my thoughts on the lens itself. Because these days, multiple lenses are being made available for almost all the systems, which is great. So hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.